There have been times in my life where I have said a few specific phrases in a short amount of time, such as, Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes. Alexa, what is the internal temperature of pork supposed to be? And Alexa, play The Floor is Lava. Now, all individually, these seem like very minor, very not anything exciting or interesting to listen to. But they give a lot of information for anyone who was listening. First of all, I'm going to be home for at least as long as this until this timer goes off, so at least 30 minutes. 2, I'm distracted. I'm cooking. I'm paying attention to other things. And 3, I have a young child at home with me. Now, all these things can add up and can become a dangerous combination the more information that we start giving to those smart devices. They can be smart, they can be helpful, but we have to consider what privacy we're giving away and who is listening on the other side. In a poem entitled Stealth, Gillian Weiss says, "At some point we realized it was too late, that we were already recorded." Now, I also talk to Siri a lot. I haven't talked to Alexa in a very long time. In fact, she's unplugged and has been for a long time. But Siri, shout out to Siri, because I know you're listening. Hey. But there have been times where she has responded to me when I haven't asked her a question, and I've just been in a conversation with someone else and she'll say something. I'm like, that's a little weird. And in fact, there are things about that people wonder, how much of it do we know? During an interview in 2019, the vice president of the Mozilla Foundation, Ashley Boyd, stated that there is growing concern about whether or not these devices are always on. And one feature that we've noticed, particularly in the Amazon products, is that they don't actually provide information about how long they store your data or whether your data can be deleted. It's kind of a scary thought. So my dad actually has worked in tech for my entire life. And so I view these topics a little bit differently because I have his insights to gather from. There was a time where he was working in tech development for a specific company. And during this time, he could not bring his phone to work. As soon as he got to work, it had to get turned off and get turned in. And he could not even bring it onto the premises where he was working. And it wasn't enough that the phone was off. It had to be completely removed, because what if it was listening? What if it was gathering information? There's all sorts of possible scenarios and dangerous things where, what is a phone actually recording? Is it taking in private, sensitive information? Is it going to end up being part of a news leak where someone gave away all this information that they shouldn't have known? Can police use it to foil terrorist plots? Can it be a source for insider trading for someone to gain billions of dollars because they find out information that they weren't supposed to know? So who's sifting through this information, and who picks these buzzwords and, as they're called, but what is being recorded? We don't know, and that's where it gets scary. So Amy Bellum, a staff reporter for the Science Survey, brings up that there are concerns about the Amazon Echo recording conversations, Apple handing over data to whoever asks, and Google selling user data. Now, I know for a fact that Apple has not always handed over data easily. In fact, one time, my dad was working for a different company and he was being contracted out to the FBI because they were trying to hack into phones because Apple would not give them access to their phones, claiming user privacy. So I know that has happened in the past, but there are some companies that do just freely give away information. I shouldn't say free, it's to the highest bidder. So they would give away information, such as Google. They've been involved in lawsuits that have cost them millions of dollars. According to Amy Bellum, again, these individual suits have one thing in common: location tracking issues. Now, I personally have a terrible sense of direction. I need my GPS. But I've noticed that even Walmart pickup orders will ask me to share my location. And that's a little weird to me. Why do you need to know where I am? If I say I'm on my way to your store, I'm going to be there soon. You don't need to know where I am. I got a smarter car that can interact with my phone. And when I looked at the GPS, I discovered that the home location was still set to the previous owner's location. So I knew where that person lived, and that's creepy. I deleted that. I don't want to know that information. But what if my information is out there that I just don't realize? The poet Matthew Zapruder described his phone screen as an expensive window. And I love this because windows are two-way. We see a lot of the world and it gives us all sorts of information and assistance. But do we have blinds on our windows? Do we have curtains? Is it one-way glass? Or are our windows transparent? Thank you.